Welcome everybody to the Culture Shock Podcast. This is your boy Pat Bayless, and we are here for a very special Mother's Day edition of the Culture Shock Podcast. I'm here with Zara, my co-host.
Hello.
And I'm also here with two beautiful mothers, caring mothers that go over and above for their children. Let's start off with Cam first. Let's say everybody say hello to Cam.
Hey guys.
And how are you? Yeah, hit that button. Feels good. And Relly in the building.
What's up?
How y'all ladies doing?
You know, just another day.
Surviving.
Yeah. So for people that don't know you, just kind of give a background where y'all grew up, y'all environment, everything, where y'all went to school. Someone wants to go first.
Do you want to go first, Boo?
No, you're good, baby.
Okay, all right. So I am originally from out west. I was born in Queens, lived in Brooklyn for a little bit, but I would like to say at 32 years old that I'm from Long Island, and I love Long Island. And yeah, that's
better than the city.
That's it. I mean, I wouldn't really have any comparisons to make. I was a child when I lived there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually silly for people to make commentaries about where you live, and you're not there now. You know,
Right.
So.
Right.
And who's to say what's better than another place?
And you
I
went
think
to
that's
Longwood,
all
right?
what you make of it. I went to Longwood. I moved out to Long Island in 2006.
Oh, so you just went to your high school in Longwood? Oh,
Well, I went to middle school for about like 2 months. Yeah, but yeah, that's where I started meeting a lot of people, and not for nothing, I met so many long life friends in living in Long Island.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter where you're from,
Facts.
you know.
True.
And I'm Sharelle. I'm born and raised here on Long Island, Gordon Heights. Moved to Florida for about 6 years. Just moved back recently, about 8 months ago.
Oh shit! Welcome back.
Yeah,
Yes, welcome
glad to be
back.
back home, close to my friends and family, and Longwood alumni. So glad that my kids can go to Longwood and experience that. And my daughter's in high school now, so
That's
Beautiful.
glad to
That's
see her there. Yeah.
Wow, you look
Still.
good. Period.
Thank you, girl.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
When
that.
did you graduate? So we don't age you. We're not gonna age you. We're
Come
just
on,
gonna ask
bro.
you.
I mean, it's fine. I have no.
You're
We're not
bad.
aging
I have
you.
no problem.
You look
That's
good.
what
I graduated in 05, so
Oh
class of
shit!
2005.
That's 2005. That's
Yeah.
dope. Do you miss the weather in Florida?
Definitely. Like, obviously, I'm born and raised here, so I was used to this, but I forgot just leaving for like 6-7 years. It's definitely like that seasonal depression because it's cloudy here
definitely.
all of the time.
Definitely.
Like, I was in a funk like a lot
Really?
just being here. I'm like, damn, I got to get out of it. But it's the weather. Like, no matter how lonely Florida was, just being in the good
sun.
weather is like, you're right. You know what I mean?
What
But
part
coming
were
back
you
out
in?
here, I was in
Sorry.
Central Florida, not far from Orlando.
Nice.
Okay.
That's a
Yeah,
nice
so
area.
it was very, very nice. But just coming back is like, just for me, like, especially as an adult, you know, my kids are good. They're like, I want to be in New York. I'm like, you don't want to go visit? Can we go, like, see your dad? You don't want to go. They don't want to go back to Florida to visit at all. But
wow.
What?
it's crazy because it's
Well, they have a
literally
ton of
cloudy.
family here, too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
cloudy
All the
as fuck.
Kids
all
don't
the
know
time.
though. And when you're born in New York, you don't want to hear about no Florida. My mom moved to
don't.
Florida,
Yeah.
and I went for a year, and I was like, "What you doing over here? You gotta go back.
It's
You gotta go
different,
back."
you know what I mean? Because anyway, our values are different. Like what we
Yeah.
expect, what we want is
Yeah.
different
Yes.
as younger
Definitely.
kids. And
Yep.
you want to pull up to Florida. Like when you're in Florida, it's like, oh, I'm from New York. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's good to experience and live that. Like the weather's crazy. You can never have a bad day. Like when the sun is shining, you can't have a bad day.
It's so funny. I
I
was
love
literally
the
sitting with my neighbor
thunderstorms out there,
yesterday.
It's
too.
crazy. But the thunderstorms are come and go.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
Like
You
they
want to
love
go
don't
sit
that.
stick
outside in the
around.
sun.
Yeah.
get your
And they
feet
have
grass.
sun showers.
Yeah,
We don't even
exactly.
got that.
I don't even know what that
Rarely.
means.
Oh
I
my
see the
God.
benefits,
Yeah.
but New York is fast paced, and I feel like speaking of Longwood, I know Longwood got its stigmatisms, but if you're not from Longwood, you're not from nowhere for real. So
I mean,
I'm glad you brought them back.
I
Shout out
agree.
to Longwood.
Yeah, Longwood was definitely a good academic school. Even
It's
though I
different
didn't take
when
advantage.
when your kids go to school and you experience like growing up in Longwood, going to school with my cousins, or even just people
It was
in
different
the
for
hood,
you.
people I knew,
Yeah.
grew up with, to bring my kids to Florida, and it's like, oh, my daughter's in middle school now, but she don't have no cousins, God forbid.
Yeah,
you know, she don't
something-
have no
It's a
support,
backup.
or even me. I don't have nobody I can text, no teacher, nobody I knew. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's
yeah.
definitely difficult.
Yeah.
Like just trying to get into like I was blessed enough to like make friends with the school nurses and
Yes,
stuff like
yes.
that. But not knowing, not having anybody
Or
now.
having
My
somebody
daughter,
with a scoop.
exactly.
Yeah.
My daughter's in Longwood. Like, I'm good. I'm like, girl,
Right.
coaches texting me like, "Oh, I saw her. She was paying attention in class." I'm like,
I
"Thank
love
you."
that.
You know what I mean? Like
I
everybody
love
just
that.
looking out
It
for
makes
her, and
you
she
feel
doesn't even know.
comfortable.
Right, absolutely. So it was definitely like a big transition for us. And just being like a Longwood kid, you know, some people, like you said, have the stigmatisms, go to Longwood and they hate it.
Yeah.
But like I didn't have that experience. So I wanted to bring my kids back to Longwood. Yeah.
And they are one of the top schools in Long Island, definitely. It's crazy that you say that your experience with like your daughter going to the high school is how it is, because like my son's going to be in 4th grade next year. So for me, you know, he goes to Charles E. Walters, and this is part of the stigmas, right? I love that he goes to Charles E. Walters. My biggest fear is for him to go to school in Quorum. I know that's so crazy because I just don't want him to be exposed to certain stuff.
Like Quorum School?
At a certain time, like the elementary school. Yeah. Like I don't want him to be exposed to certain stuff. The kids, and believe it or not, I live in Quorum. My son goes to school in Yapink. You know why though? Because it's not about the kids. I don't have anything against kids, but unfortunately, like, you know, kids are very non-remorseful. They're like, you know, unempathetic, and they just do whatever. And these kids are outside fight. In my complex, they fight all the time.
Yeah.
My son's like a computer kid, so like I don't want him to ever have to experience any type of like roughness or anything he doesn't want to engage in. Because unfortunately, some of these kids don't want to be rough. They don't want to play sports because of the technology. So it's like, for me, I kind of don't want him to go to Longwood. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. And it's so fucked up because the academics are great. The diversity is amazing. They have so much, how do you say?
Sports even.
There's so much advancement that they can, I can't think of the word, but like there's so much stuff they can do to excel, you know, in that school. But it's like, unfortunately, the same things we fear in everyday life, we fear for them too. So it's like, shit.
I think that it's just like, honestly, I think it's how we raise our kids, because we can't like shield them from all of that.
No,
ever. Regardless, like you're not gonna, you don't want him to go to Longwood. Where you want him to go?
Go whatever you want. I'm
So,
gonna school him at home.
Exactly. And then you don't want that either. You know, so it's just how we raise them, and then
hope
just
that
like praying
will be
over
okay.
them. That's it. That's all we can do, because my daughter's the same way. She's so non-confrontational. She's quiet, and she's beautiful girl. You know what I mean?
You just want them to maintain their innocence for as long as possible.
That's it. You do, but you can't help like their surroundings. But as long as you like at home, you just install those foundations for them, and just, you know, hope that when they go out there, they're just doing the best that they can do.
Do you have more than just your?
I have 2 kids. Okay, so I have my daughter. She's 14.
Shout out the kids real quick.
Yeah, my daughter. She's 14. Ariana. She's in 9th grade, and then my son. He's 10.
Okay.
And he's in 4th grade.
Okay.
So just like me coming to Long Island was kind of like, not rapid in a sense, but like I wasn't settled in a sense. So my brother, he worked at the charter school, Rivera Charter School, so he was able to get my son there for me.
Oh, awesome.
But my son's in the charter school right now.
Nice.
So it's definitely a different experience, like Longwood versus the Rivera.
That's the one in Riverhead, right?
Yeah.
Straight up middle country.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, we're dealing with it, you know what I mean? But
God bless.
he's like, I want to go to Longwood next year. I'm like, we'll see, boy. You know, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah. What do you think about? Because I know that your daughter plays basketball. Do you think it would have been the same sort of success down there playing basketball in Florida versus playing it here where she is?
You know what? Probably only because like I just truly believe like whatever is meant for her is gonna be for her.
So yes,
but I mean, because let me tell you something. My whole family is a basketball family.
Right.
When we left Long Island, my daughter was 8 years old. She never wanted to touch a basketball. She did not want to play basketball until she was like 10.
Really?
And we were in Florida. And I'm like, bruh, now you want to play basketball when we in Florida? So literally all my like resources were through Instagram, just Googling stuff and looking up stuff.
I thought she was playing the whole time.
No, she never played basketball until we got to
Florida.
Florida.
Look at how her talent just picked off like that.
It's a blessing. It's a
That's
blessing.
quick. But like you said, it's in her blood though. Yeah, it's
it.
definitely in her blood.
You gotta look back at the videos. I was showing her like, you see it 2 years ago, girl.
Yep.
But so that's really all it was. Obviously, basketball and any kind of extracurriculars, if you can get your kids into them, is a gateway for kids to make friends and stuff like that. Because when she came out here, that was how she made friends initially, was just basketball girls. Right. But
that's fine.
She would have figured it out either way. But I'm glad
you
she
have
likes
that
it.
confidence in your parenting though. That's good.
I mean, I try, girl.
Yeah,
you know,
I like how you said.
What else can we do?
You know, with me, I feel like when I have conversations with other moms, I'm so like, oh my God, yes. Like, let me hear this. Because like, of course, we all want to learn from each other as moms and stuff like that. But I feel like sometimes as moms, we're like our own biggest critics. Like, as you say, like I'm saying you're confident. You're like, well, I'm trying, you know? Yeah. It's like, I see so much confidence in you. I feel like that's why your kids are gonna do great. You know, like your daughter's obviously thriving, and like you said, it's crazy how she didn't want to do something, and then when she picked it up, it was just for her because that's what was for her, like you said, and you know that because your parenting, it tells you that, you know.
Well, thank you.
Good. I'm sorry, Pat. One more thing. I just like how you said, like, to pray over them, and you know, you gotta let whatever happens, because like I'm so scared because the way the world is going, it's like when I have kids, what I'm gonna do? But that's a good point. You can't control anything that's going on. Like, pray over them, and you gotta send them out. Like that's insane.
That's all we can do.
Were your parents like that with you, like, or were they like?
I mean, I would hope to think so. I feel like they were a little more lenient. So stuff that I take away from them, like, you know, I was like a good student. I had my head on straight, but my parents, if I wanted to go left, my parents supported the left shit. You know what I mean? I love that. So I'm like, I don't want to support no left shit for my daughter. Because now as an adult, I'm like,
you know the difference.
Why did they do it straight? Like,
but
I
it taught you something. They might have been on to something. Later. Sometimes being too strict is like, but I know I'm gonna be that parent. Like, you know, what you talking about? Sit down, shut up. Like,
it's like there's parents that, like, so like me, my kid is very like, he always want to go to his grandparents. He want to go to his dad's house because mom's always like, do your homework, get off the computer, get off the phone, go read a book for 20 minutes.
And routine.
And then when he go to grandma's house or dad's house, he don't have those. And so I understand and respect that he goes there and has his opportunities for fun. So now if I'm telling him no, I just always become the bad parent, right? And it's like, whatever, I don't care, you live with me. Right. What you gonna do, tell me you hate me? Oh, well, like, everybody hate me.
Right.
And so what? Like, but at the end of the day, it's like, all right, I have to keep like that. Like you said, like, I cannot be like how my parents were and allow me to shift left. I have to be this way because I understand the things that I went through going left that I didn't have to go through.
Right.
So it's like, damn. And that's the shit that makes you anxious. Like,
because I know I was
what the hell,
left,
like,
left,
you know, left. And like, it's you know, it's funny. I didn't do well in school. I was smart. I didn't do well in school. Like, you know, kind of like how you were well in school. It's funny because we have the same views on not wanting our kids to go left because even though you had your head on right, you still went through shit. Right. Like, you know, and they did the best that they could. Shout out to our parents.
Yeah,
but,
shout out to our
parents. You know, but whatever, like, you know, we give and take from our parenting, from our parents. So
ultimately,
you just segue for me. You just segue for me. I like that.
I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect.
It's the Don Julio.
No.
It's the Don Julio.
I want to
Kenny, do the
both
sound
of y'all, and you could even answer this question. Growing up, I don't. Obviously, this is kind of a deep question, but how close were y'all to y'all mothers, and what pros and cons would you say you took from your mothers now being a parent now? This is kind of a deep topic. But that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a deep topic, so I don't want you to get too crazy if it's something you're uncomfortable talking about. But whatever you're comfortable talking about, feel free to say.
So, okay, I grew up I'm the first American born in an Indian household.
Okay.
So my parents brought their Indian beliefs to America with 2 different fucking countries. Okay. Again, you know, thank God they were there for me for the things that I wouldn't be here for them if it wasn't for them. Right. But unfortunately, I think that probably 85% of the way that my mom parented is how I will not parent my son. So, pros, okay. Yeah, my mom wanted me to study and this and this and that and whatever, but she wasn't around and there was a lot of other stuff going on behind, you know, all of that stuff that made her distracted a little bit. And as a woman and an adult now, I know that you can't control every angle of your life. And even with I have 1 kid. My mom had 4 kids. So, and in one way or another, she was raising them by herself. And I feel that if I have 1 kid and she has 4 kids and I don't see everything my kid is doing, how could she see everything 4 kids are doing? Mm-hmm. So how could you really be on top of, you know, what you need to be on top of? So we can never hold them accountable for that. But, you know, as far as I feel like taking your kids into consideration, telling them that you love them, that they're handsome and beautiful and, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. This is what this is for.
you know, I think all of that stuff is very important because later on, the traumas that you have as a kid, it definitely affects your kids. My dad was an abusive alcoholic. I'm very open about my past. And unfortunately, that was also a deriving issue to cause depression in the household, a gray cloud all the fucking time in New York on top of the gray clouds already.
Yeah.
And it also caused, for me to now at past 30 years old, I look at my kid and I see how he reacts to something I say to him. I'm like, fuck, like, I'm looking through him. That's what my dad used to do to me. Or I'm not telling him that he's smart. I'm not praising him because that's what my mom didn't do for me. And she had so much other shit going on, trying to feed 4 kids with an alcoholic husband who wasn't doing shit, that how could I blame this woman at this age?
Right.
But that's what, like, for me, it's like the most simplest form I could put it into is you got to take your kids into consideration and you have to praise them. Because I hear people, and I'm not saying this, I don't got a big ass head. My head big, but I don't got a big ass head. But people tell me all the time, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so smart. I don't think those things. It took me a very long time to understand. It took me test grades, and I never went to school to tell me that I was smart. You know what I'm saying? It took me, for me to realize what I was, to know what I was. Nobody told me that. Nobody implemented that. Nobody instilled that in me. I feel like it's important for your kids to have confidence. If your kid can't look you, my son couldn't look me in my eye for a while. And he don't know what the fuck he's dealing with. He doesn't know my traumas.
Right.
So, you know, I sit down with him and have conversations with him, try to explain to him the things I went through so that maybe he could understand that I don't do certain things on purpose. And if he can acknowledge something or tell me something, I will correct it and make it better. And I always will try my best. And sometimes he'll tell me I'm being mean and I tell him I'm being assertive, and I'll come back and be like, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to be
You're so
a little
good
bit
at
nicer.
that. You're so good at that.
Shout out to you for doing that.
Yeah. For
that's
someone who
cool.
didn't
That
learn
takes a
that,
lot.
you are good. Like, when I see you with your son, you're on point.
Thank you, sis.
Like,
Yeah, nah, that's dope. That's definitely takes a lot of practice, you know, and patience, and just giving yourself grace, because that's probably something I have to work on, because like I don't think I'm apologizing to my kids as of now.
I feel like I have to,
Not
and I
happening.
say sorry to everybody so much because I'm so insecure, you know, that if I have to apologize to anybody, it's got to be him.
Right.
Because I feel like my son's going to be 9 in September, and I feel like he's had 8 years of nothing but turbulence because of me, you know? And even though there's blessings, because we have blessings. Every time I cried, I smiled. So, you know, it's like just knowing that, or being able to just tell him I'm sorry, and he understands my English vernacular. Like, I'm telling him I'm sorry, you know, like, I have a hard time. Like, my parents weren't nice to me or whatever, you know? And he's, unfortunately, he has the maturity to grasp that and take it with him, because he went through so much at a young age that he don't even understand how mature he is.
yeah.
And she knows my son. This is my son's
But that's
aunt.
not
It's
unfortunate.
like,
That's not
it is
unfortunate.
fortunate,
That's
but
a
you know what? It
blessing.
takes
He's not
away,
coming up blind.
No, but it takes away a lot of those little moments where he could be just looking at something and looking at it for what it is, then analyzing it and being like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
At least indulge in that little moment. Like, and of course, there's two sides to it. Again, there's always a blessing and a curse, whatever we talking about. But it's like,
Over analytical like me. That's why we
analytical.
friends.
And it's funny how you said too, like the word patience. I personally don't use that word because I feel like I don't really have patience. It's the hardest thing. That's my biggest challenge as being a mom, is patience.
Right.
I feel like that's where I'm like, okay, come on, do your homework, I told you to do your homework, it's 9 o'clock.
Right.
I just did it to him. Like, that's why I was just calling him before the podcast started. Like, did you eat your food? I know I left you with your food. I know you did your homework. Go to bed. Like, make sure you're ready for bed. Is the house clean? Like, even though he's with somebody.
That's not even patience. I think more so like routine, and then we have to say like
integrity and discipline.
Like,
yeah, because if you don't
have
that, it's like I had a conversation once before with another man, and he was talking about his children, and he was saying to me that like, why do you feel like so tough with your son about school? And I was like, what do you mean? I said, as an adult, you have to learn integrity and discipline when you go to work to make sure that your bills are paid, right? The first place your kid goes and the first job your kid has is school. What the hell are you talking
point.
about?
Yeah.
That boy better
To
have
the point.
perfect motherfucking attendance unless he got that 100 fever.
Yeah, now that's
Period.
old school. That's old school.
You know, go to bed at
That's
9:30,
old school.
10 o'clock. Your eyes better be slamming and better hit you already. Like,
No, that's old
because
school.
you got to be prepared for school. You got to be ready to
Right.
take on a day, learn new things, learn everything you can. And I tell my son, by the grace of God, like you had cousins, you know. My son has a lot of cousins. I'm like, go to school. You don't even got to make a friend. School's not for friends. Go learn, come home. You want to talk to your friends. You have cousins after cousin after cousin after cousin.
Right.
And that's it, you know. And I still have a lot of learning to do. So.
It takes time.
You know.
What about you, Real?
Definitely a learning experience.
Sorry, I was rambling.
Nah, you
No,
look
you're
good.
fine.
I don't even remember what the question was again, child.
The
but,
question
you know.
was, like growing up with your mom, what pros and cons did you take from your mom, if any? And like what do you use going forward that you may have learned as a child?
Okay, well, you know, anyway, my siblings say that, like, I'm the second oldest of 6 kids.
Are you the favorite?
No. My other brother who was here, he's a favorite kid, but my mom doesn't want to admit it, but whatever. Either way, that's neither here or there. You know, everybody seems to think like my sister, who was the oldest, she got like the brunt of everything. And then it's crazy. It's like 6 of us. I mean, this may be true. I don't know. It's not by perspective, but that she got the brunt of it. And then the rest of us, like for me, it was like, I was chilling. You know, I was chilling. Second oldest. Definitely some things I would do differently, but you know, just as being a woman now and just I have 2 kids. My mom has 6 kids. So just like looking at the difference and just like that she was able to do everything she was able to do and that we're all like pretty good humans, pretty good adults. We take care of our kids, you know what I mean? We're successful in a sense. Like none of us are, you know, in jail, unhealthy, whatever. She did a good job, you know? So I don't like to look on anything negative or, you know, because as a kid, it was just like, if it was a question, it was like, oh, why isn't she here? Why can't she do this? But not thinking of things I know now that she could have been just personally dealing with. So for me, it's just trying to do the things that maybe I didn't like that she did with me, try to do something different with my kids. But really, at the end of the day, sometimes it's just like, I look at my kids like, I'm doing all this shit for y'all. And
you know, I paid for this, I paid for that. You want to leave all time? Yeah. You know what I mean? I should just go live in a box.
Bruh. It's
Save
just like,
my rent money. Yeah.
Literally, it's just, I feel like it's a day-by-day thing. Yeah. You know, just handle whatever's happening at the moment and just trying to get through it. But, yeah, shout out to my mom.
Did you always know you wanted kids?
I don't recall myself saying like I wanted kids, but my family calls me mama. Like my parents call me mama. Like
you were like that mature woman.
They saw like a motherly instinct in me from early. But like I'm not really a big people person, you know what I mean? But sometimes I'll make connections with kids like randomly, you know what I mean? But I love babies. But
I feel like you're the nicest.
Yeah, you are very nice.
No, I'm nice. When you know we can talk and engage, but like initially you might look at me like, who is that? Because I'm just like I'll be by myself. If you want to talk to me, then I'll be like, oh, what's up? You know, we can talk.
You are very much so welcoming when I spoke to you earlier too. Like I was talking about the cupcakes, but you know.
Oh, food, you know.
Yeah,
it's a good conversation to have, you know what I mean?
When you mentioned
some people are weird, like now. Like, you know.
No, never.
When you mentioned the taking things day by day, have you always been like that before you had kids? Like,
no.
did having kids teach you that? And
Definitely.
if so, when did you learn that? First kid, second kid? Put me on game. Let me know. What's up? What am I in for?
It's still a learning experience to this day. But like I had my daughter when I was 22, so I was still so young. But like I jumped right in. Like there was nothing else I wanted to do but like take care of her, be present with her. I've been blessed to have just not my mom, like their grandma on the other side, their dad's mom, just great influential women, just to like guide me, just to tell me, because even I mean, as we got to do what we have to do regardless of who else is around or who isn't around. You know what I mean? So I had to just learn to just like pipe down, focus on them, and do the best I could do. Just worry about me and what I could do with them. So it's just a day by day process. Still to this day, you know what I mean?
Just initially when you first had your daughter, I just had I have a newborn nephew, and he slept over my house for the first time, and I'm like, what the fuck going on? You mean you gonna wake up every 2 hours?
Yeah,
You gonna wake up every 2 hours for real?
For
No,
real.
I gotta get another bottle. The bottle's done already. You're hungry
By
again.
the time they're done eating it and fall asleep,
What's
and
wrong
then they
with
wake
these
up.
babies?
I know.
What was the most
What's
like?
wrong with these babies? She not ready for the
What
kid.
was like the most surprising thing like that you didn't think you would have to face like? Because you had a girl first. I need a boy first. Because I can't. No. But you had a girl first. What was like the most? Could you remember anything significant that was like, oh no, I might be in for a ride?
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, not even to like talk down on you, baby. Sorry, or teenagers.
Right.
But she ain't even really give me no surprises till recently.
Okay, that's good then.
You know,
That's good.
she was great.
Regular
she was
teenage
perfect.
stuff. Okay.
Right. And then it was just like I was built for it. I don't know, I didn't mind the
I like
waking up,
that.
being up, that kind of stuff.
Right.
My son, he was a different story because she was like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then he came, this nigga would not sleep.
Yeah.
That was mine.
And
That
I
was mine.
breastfed him.
I think it's a boy thing.
And I was a
Ooh,
pacifier.
you
No.
breastfeeding.
That was
Oh, he was
That's
really
big.
disrespectful
That was
because you gave
different.
him both of those.
Oh, child.
Oh, he rude.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
That's why
I didn't like that.
That's mad
He
rude.
was the one because like I look back on my Facebook memories now and I'll be like, this
That's the
little
problem
nigga.
child.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he was like 10 months, still wasn't sleeping. I was writing
Yeah.
like
Out that
statuses
4 in the
on,
morning.
Shut
on
up.
Facebook.
But obviously you
My
didn't
baby
even
won't
notice.
sleep.
Oh, stop.
He was
That's
10
so
months.
cute.
I don't want to make him
That's so
sleep.
cute.
Help.
But the little girl, she
She
slept
was good.
well and she still sleep well.
And women
That's
don't
why I
like
gotta make sure
that.
she up for the school bus because
She had
she'll
to make
sleep.
sure you was ready for the
Okay,
ride
yeah.
later.
I might want a girl first then.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah, she's
It's funny
chill.
because girls are like, from what I've heard, like as an adult, when you talk to other mothers, you hear a lot like how like the girls are like very clean, or they change their underwear 10 times, change their clothes 10 times. Like it's like certain little things that they do that you're not gonna see your boy doing.
Yeah.
At
Not
all.
at all.
Like
Nice.
Not at all.
What would you guys say difficulty was during pregnancy? Do you guys have any stories, or was pregnancy pretty smooth all the way through, as far as just the whole process?
Cam was big as a house.
mind your business.
Yo, when I
What
say
a
big
nice
as a
friend.
house, I'm
That's
sorry,
literally my
but
sister. She's
Cam was
literally-
big
that's
as a
literally my
house
house.
is
I
crazy.
seen her before she was about to drive. I was like, no, you're not in this store, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, I was definitely
But you look
very
good
big.
now. So it's
I
okay.
think girl, you
Snap
so
back.
sissy,
You
okay?
could've come to the store. You look good still, though. You carried very well. You were just huge.
Thank you,
Just the
sis.
stomach, not even like anything else. Your stomach was just everywhere.
It
I'm
was
like,
very
wow,
much
that's a big
so
kid.
everywhere. Yeah, he was born 8 pounds 10 ounces,
Mm.
22 inches.
Ouch.
In my ribs
long
the
baby.
whole fucking time.
Was that a
okay?
vaginal delivery?
Girl,
Sorry
no.
for TMI.
No.
TMI, but
It
that's
actually
big.
Very much so.
Oh, okay.
They had, to
Well,
cut my
hey.
shit, they had to cut my shit open for that boy.
Okay,
Okay,
get him out
so
anyway.
fun
how.
fact, his grandparents on his dad's side call him Big Head.
Oh.
And we was at the house the other day, and they like, Dash, you know why we call you Big Head? Ask your mother. Ask your mother. And I just started laughing because they're like, your
That's
head was
so
so
funny.
big, she could have pushed you out.
My nephew don't got
So
a
it
big
was like
head,
an emergency
though.
C-section.
It
like
was
he
an emergency
stuck in the canal?
C-section. My umbilical cord was too short. So that
Okay.
was like my struggle during delivery. I did have gestational diabetes. They had to give me the shots. I had a high risk pregnancy. No disrespect to my son's father, but he was young at the time, so he wasn't really there for me. So I was very much so by myself. And as being the firstborn in an Indian household, I definitely was by myself. And I was
Right.
by myself at a young age. So it wasn't too much for me to be by myself. But the kind of like cutoff that they did when I told them I was pregnant was very hard for me while I was pregnant. I was
Right.
very emotional and obviously, right? And so that was like my biggest challenge. I had like morning sickness for a little while, like everybody else. I think around like, I found out I was pregnant at like 4 months and something.
And you didn't
wow.
have morning sickness before that? You
I did.
lucky.
I did. So I didn't have health insurance, guys. Health insurance is very fucking
Yeah,
important. Make
she's
sure you
so
have some.
annoying. Yeah, that's a
Cause what
fact.
the fuck? Okay, get you some motherfucking Obamacare. Okay,
Yeah.
because I didn't have health insurance, and I swear to God, when I went to the clinic, I told them, I'm like, I know I got stomach cancer. Just fucking rip off the Band-Aid.
This nigga.
I'm in the gym
Yeah.
every day for 3 hours. I don't got no 6-pack. I'm confused. I said something's going on.
Pregnant.
First, she tells me I'm pregnant by my urine, and then I was like, girl.
Check
Right
that
here.
again.
Right here. No,
check
right
that
here.
again.
this big vein right here waiting for you.
Yeah.
And I ended up being pregnant. My first appointment, I found out I was having a boy. And so
you were already far enough along to know what you were having. You know, you was pregnant.
I was.
That
at
sounds like a
20.
good pregnancy to me.
You know what it was?
All you got is
So,
the last
scary,
leg.
though.
Me and my
That
son's
is very
father were
scary.
trying for a long time to have kids. That it was about 2 years. About 2 years that we were just like, all right, it's not happening.
That's when that
that's
shit
what
happened.
And he kept on telling me that he was, the
Damn.
motherfucker kept telling me he was sterile. I'm sorry to put your business out, I don't give a fuck.
better
He told
stop
me he was
playing with him.
sterile. And his mom was laughing at me one day like, sterile where? We didn't go to the doctor and said
Yeah,
none of
that's
that.
so funny.
thought my shit was
So
real.
I did have a healthy baby though. So the struggles in my
honest.
pregnancy
That's
ultimately
a blessing.
came out to nothing but there's always blessings in the struggle. So yeah, Dash, you gave me a little bit of a stomach and headache, but it's all right.
Right.
Kind of thing. But I think that was like my biggest, like those are my biggest issues. Other than that, I was fine. Once I knew I was pregnant, it was like a mental thing. I like started eating crackers and water, eating. I stopped going to the gym, lifting weights, obviously, which was fucking crazy.
Right. You
I
still
walked
could
a
have did
lot.
that.
Yeah,
Right,
you
I was
know
gonna
what?
say.
You know, I figured at that point in time I was lifting such heavy weights that I was probably not doing any help by the baby, and I really thought, like towards the delivery and stuff, that maybe I like made my umbilical cord too short by being too strong. Maybe it got too thick or something. Like I don't know.
I'm dead.
Muscles in there.
Like the muscles was muscling, but
Just remember when Zara gets pregnant, to start cutting ass.
no, she's never
Please
spared.
don't.
She's
I'm
never
gonna stay
spared.
inside. I know I'm gonna look crazy.
We on the
I
podcast
know I'm gonna
right
look
now, but
crazy.
she called me a house. I'm gonna have something for that baby.
I'm gonna stay home, so I don't care.
What about you,
I'll be
Ro?
right in your house, girl. Like that's
I'm not even to like sound crazy, but I really didn't have any challenges. I had morning sickness probably until like 12 weeks, but
Not that was easy.
Yeah.
Was
Right.
it morning, noon, and night? Because they call it morning sickness,
Oh,
but
no,
it's
but it be
all
all
throughout the
day.
fucking
Oh,
day.
Yeah, I
So
went to
whenever
work.
you
I
feel like
remember I
it.
went to work one time. Like I didn't tell nobody I was pregnant with my son, but I went to work in all black. Like I was just looking like,
Feeling
Oh,
bad.
Sharelle?
Feeling bad.
yeah, I really couldn't stand nobody around me. But after that, after like the first trimester, I felt a lot better. But
Nice.
yeah, I was blessed. I mean, with him, I got comfortable. You know, I ate a lot and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
no challenges. They're both healthy and
yes,
came out okay.
Praise
So.
God.
I might make
Yeah.
you cry on
Amen.
this question, but what did it feel like to put your children on your chest for the first time? What is that feeling like to describe?
There's really no feeling. I mean, there's no words to describe it. Like, I mean, I know I was elated. Like, I was happy, just super happy, and just felt so blessed. I have beautiful kids. They're great. I was able to deliver them vaginally, you know, with no problems and no kind of no issues. My son was big. He was 9'2".
What?
19
Damn, girl, I was
inches,
like 10
but he
pounds.
a little bit.
I felt
Yeah,
bad for my mom. She went natural.
exactly.
Oh.
So he was, you know, he had to get induced because he would just didn't
God
want to come out.
bless.
But
Mhm.
you know, it's this a feeling that you can't explain. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I don't know. I just thankfully I never had an issue like, you know, getting pregnant or reproducing. So it was kind of like maybe something that I took for granted.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think of it extra. It was just like, all right, cool, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm having a baby. I'm a
Thank
woman.
God, though.
And
That's
there's
a
women
blessing.
out
It's
there that
fine.
it's
Yeah,
true. Like you
No, I
said, there's
know.
women that just struggle to get pregnant. and
Exactly,
it's like,
exactly.
They be seeing women get pregnant all around them and be like, what the hell?
That was
Right.
actually the first time I tried to have a baby. So, I mean, not the first time, but
I was
like
gonna say,
first
what?
times over the times. But sorry, go ahead. Ask your
Right.
question.
No, sorry. When you said you were elated, and you know, for the first kid, and listen, I'm not trying to ask no
She's
crazy
like, "I'm not
questions
a
to your
mom."
mom. I just want to know. On the second kid, was it more of a like a? You were used to it by then? Were you? I don't want to
Like, this
ask. I don't want to
motherfucker's
sound
attitude.
Were you
stupid, but did
isolated
it feel,
for
did it
the
feel
second
different on the
kid?
first
Honestly,
one from the
for
second one?
For my son, I was more happy
Wow.
because I
You
guess
knew
I
the
felt
experience
I
of
could
being
do
a
it.
mother.
Yeah.
I was
You're
already
already
doing it.
powerful.
I
woman.
was 4 years old.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Exactly. Like it was no, like I'm good.
And I had
That's
my
nice. I like
son
that.
at 24. So it's funny that you said I was still very young. When you talk to these girls nowadays, they think 22 and 24 is old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
That's
bitch,
crazy.
bitch.
Shit.
No, if I wanted a college degree, I would have got one, but I didn't.
Listen,
In
it
life,
is-
and I guess the
It's just so
technical
different
terms,
now.
because after, like, I believe it might be 34,
35.
35, it's called a geriatric pregnancy.
You're not
Girl.
supposed.
You know what I mean?
and I'm
You're
on my way.
not
I'm on my
safe.
fucking way.
That's crazy right now.
You're supposed to have an actual evaluation done for you to even see if you can move forward with a pregnancy before you even try to have kids at 35
Yo,
plus.
y'all pray for
through
me.
OBGYN. No, bitch, because you're going to have kids right motherfucking before.
I'm about to go
I mean,
make
get it
one
done. Just get it
tonight.
done. Yeah,
Because
there you
listen,
go.
at this
Just do it.
point,
Just pick one at this
fuck.
point.
Yo,
I'm just kidding.
what's up?
Don't do
I got
that.
a question,
Don't do that
'cause
because they suck, okay? Even if
I
you
don't
pick
know
them,
if
they
y'all
suck.
can answer this question.
Sorry.
So this is kind of getting to my personal business, but
Get into your personal business, Pat. Okay,
Right.
let's
almost
go.
had,
Always
almost
getting
had a
in
Let's
the
get
child
to you.
2 years ago.
You almost had a what?
2 years ago, but she had a ectopic pregnancy.
Okay.
So is that on me or is that more on
No,
her?
that's your
It's not
child.
on- it's not on anybody. It's not on
Listen,
anybody.
I'm not trying to place blame because I knew that's what she was going.
No,
where I
it's
thought I was
science, though.
going. That's not where I was. That's not what I was asking.
I'm sorry,
So
but
no,
what
but I
that
wanted to
question
know.
won't get us canceled.
No, but I wanted to know. I wanted to know is that just
So listen, so when
Yeah.
somebody has
because they explained
an
it to me, but
ectopic
I was
pregnancy,
wondering like, is it
because
me
you don't
too?
really know, you're a man. You don't even understand what tubes is. The only tube
Right,
you
a
got is
little
hanging
bit.
out your body. So
That's crazy.
for us, it's like,
Crazy.
you know what I'm saying? Like for us, it's like this is what happens, right? When your little spermicide, your little tadpole gets
You're
into
not
our
about to
egg-
tell me.
Yeah, we
I
is.
understand.
We is. But no, but seriously though,
I
I'm
get what
joking.
you're
But
saying.
let me explain though, right? When the sperm goes into the egg and all of that good stuff, it has to swim. It has to make a little
Yes.
journey, right?
And
It has
what
to go
else?
through. So what happens is it doesn't go into the tube. That shit is a rebel. He wants to go somewhere else. So what happens is the pregnancy starts to develop in an unhealthy area. It's not where it's supposed
But it could
to be.
be. But it could be. Question. It could be in the tube, correct? Because
Right,
I was
right.
told.
It could
that
be.
I
It
was
could be.
told-
Nobody's fault.
It could.
No, I'm not blaming
It
anybody,
could-
but
it could be
I'm
that.
really. I
It's
never
not
got to
going-
ask these
but
questions.
it's getting stuck. It's a traffic jam.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on. It's not about
traffic
a
jam.
man though. Sorry.
Yeah.
I be laughing at pain. Sorry guys. But more so, it's scientific. There's nothing that you or her could have done to
Right.
prevent that. So unfortunately, it's like sad. It's fucked up because it's still
That's
a
really
miscarriage.
fucked up.
It's really fucked up
Yeah.
because. You know, you're excited or whatever. The feelings that you could have to be excited kind of get crumbled. And it's scientific though. It's not you couldn't have stroked better. She couldn't
But
have
that's-
held herself together better. There was nothing that you
That's
could have
crazy.
did better.
But that's why I
I'm
asked the
just
question
saying,
because
men
I'm about to
are
bite you.
men are very much so egotistic. So
Right.
and we're not
This
gonna
is
have
all
this
about
conversation
that.
I
about
think
men.
that's where that
But
stems
it's-
from. a little
and
bit.
not for
No,
nothing,
she's
and I
right,
don't
though.
mean to be rude to you, but that's where your question comes from.
Right.
It comes from your pride and your ego as a man because
Yeah.
you felt like I couldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Or even thinking
But
there's
you
something you could have,
done
yeah.
differently.
Well, that's my thing. But
And
I
20
felt
years
guilty
later,
for it.
you still
Yeah,
thinking
you
about
can't,
it.
though.
But
I felt
that's
guilty
you.
for it.
But
What were
that's
you
you being
thinking?
a
I'm talking
good.
about
You're a
kids.
good man, though.
You know what I'm saying? I felt
saying?
guilty and I want to know.
You're a
Was
good
it me?
person, though.
Because-
But that's why y'all supposed to be going to the doctor's
Doctors,
appointments with
asking
her,
questions,
like
Oh.
getting,
you know?
figuring it out. You, if you leaving her to go to the doctor by yourself, of course you gonna come back with that question now.
Yeah, you
First
gotta.
one.
And that's what a lot of guys do. They find out they got
But,
you
you know,
pregnant, and then
And you know
now
what's
you
so
just
crazy
pregnant.
though? A lot of men actually skip out on the prenatal appointments. Now, if you want to know some shit, you better go up in them appointments.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to skip out. Those appointments are very fucking important. First of all, you don't even know your kid how I know your kid. That motherfucker is marinating in my stomach. You don't know him. And if you're not in this pot, you really want to know what's going on. So if you want to know firsthand, you gotta be the spoon. Like,
Right.
You gotta be
you
in
gotta
there
pull up.
asking
You gotta be up in
questions.
there. Like,
Just for me, it
you
happened
know?
early. Like I
But
don't know,
it-
first. So it was. I was there, and I was
and
like,
you know, and not for nothing, Pat.
Damn.
You're like, we know you personally. Like, you're a good person. So like, we know
appreciate
that,
that.
like, of course, like we know that, you know, we could talk about other guys, but we talking about you right now.
Yeah.
And like, I think that a lot of men would struggle with something like that, just like miscarriages, right? I had a miscarriage. Now, I didn't have a man at the time that was like, oh, I'm sorry, and oh my God, he didn't understand what I was going through, so he was avoiding it, and it was very like it made me feel kind of like awkward, you know what I'm saying? And fortunately, there's men like you that will be like, oh my God, was it my fault and stuff, and now we
Yeah.
can come to a healing point where we're like, it wasn't you, it wasn't me, this is just what happens
Right.
sometimes, unfortunately.
Right.
And from there, you grow, you know what I'm saying? And as a man, you're always gonna grow, so it's like, that's a good point to have because, you know, it's not all about the mothers. It's fucked up how we're celebrated so much because of the fact that there's a lack of another type of parent, which is we're only praised because we're a primary parent.
Yeah.
Right?
Custodial,
A dad could be a primary parent and
no
be
other
praised
option.
right here in the room with us. Like, you
Right.
are a primary parent because you're involved in your son's life as much as your baby mother is, or your girlfriend, or your your son's mom. So with that being said, it's kind of crazy how we don't have the privilege to be able to praise everybody because they don't have the same empathy that you have towards your children that weren't here or weren't able to make it.
Right.
So
yeah, no, that always is on my mind because I always just was like, I
And
understood what
it's
it was, but I was just like, wasn't me because my first child that came, like y'all was both saying that should just happen. You would think it would
like 1, 2,
happen,
3.
and it should not happen, and you
People
like
don't realize how
am I-
much pregnancy, not even kid, like pregnancy is a blessing.
blessing.
There's
No,
so
for
many
sure.
people for little reasons who just, can't make it happen. So it's good that you even look at it like that because a lot of niggas think they just
whatever
walking around seeding bitches and it's
you know
not.
what's so
That's not how that
crazy?
shit happens.
The
It's a
fact that
blessing.
you know when it happened and you have those feelings are so crazy to me because, like, somebody will write that off. Like, a woman will never forget what she went through, especially when it comes to something with her kids or a possible kid, even a boyfriend, a man that was in her life. But for you to acknowledge that, like, your son's mother should be proud of the father that you are, for real. Like, word. Shout out to you.
Somebody send that clip.
Oh my goodness.
Definitely though.
Bro, like, drink to that.
It's just crazy because nothing. Like, as a mother, I know you can agree with me. Like, even if we come from different backgrounds, I know you can agree that we don't get the acknowledgement that we could hope that. Like, we got through a successful day. It was so fucking hard, and we sit down, and we go, oh. And for us, that's ourselves saying like, damn, bitch, you did that shit.
Right.
Like, would somebody else come behind you and be like, babe, you all right? Like, you did a good
made it
job.
through the
Or,
day.
sis, you fucking smoked that day. Like, damn, who the fuck made you a mother? Because they picked the right bitch.
Facts.
Like, you know, and it would be nice. And to have somebody that's empathetic, just how you are empathetic and care about your kids or care about the same thing that you care about in the way that you do, it just makes everything so much better. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
appreciate that.
of course.
Something I also want to touch on too is postpartum. Did any of you guys go through that postpartum after pregnancy?
everything was. I would hope like shit. Because you're giving me so much hope. Did you go through that?
I mean, it's realistic stuff.
Yeah.
For my son, I feel like I did for a little bit. Probably more so just the situation I was in. And just like, I mean, kicking a nigga out right after you have the kid, you know what I mean? It wasn't a good situation. So
crazy.
I definitely did see somebody and speak to somebody for a little bit just after my son, just to kind of get some insight and just try to get my head on straight.
How'd you notice it? Somebody pointed it out to you, or you just knew you wasn't feeling right?
I didn't feel
Bad
good.
thoughts.
And not even against my kids
No,
or
just in
nothing
general,
like that. Just,
right. Like sad
just
thoughts,
feeling out of
negative
it,
thoughts.
like, angry and just feelings I didn't want to have inside, especially
what
taking
made
care
you
of my kids.
actually like go out of your way to do it? Is it because like you felt like your kids were like most important, or you felt like you just really couldn't control your emotions? I don't know. I just want to ask you that because
to be honest, I was very honest like at my follow-up appointments.
So, okay,
and I feel like my doctor probably recommended it for me.
So you have follow-up appointments as well as the baby?
Yes,
yeah,
100%.
Of course. So when you follow up as a mom, even when you're getting discharged after you have your baby, they'll give you like just a survey to see how you're feeling. You know.
So then, if it changes on the
and
follow-up,
if you score a certain number, then it's gonna be like, all right,
and the
maybe
shit
a
got
red flag
smiley
kind of
faces
thing.
on it, like how they do when you go to like a therapist, like the whole real deal. Like it's a whole mental evaluation.
Exactly.
Right?
So they recommended it for you. That's what led you.
I think so. I think they did. So they recommended me to somebody, which was good for like the time being that I could do it because I needed it, and not even like family or like nobody close to me because people don't really understand, especially when you're with somebody for like a long time. It's like, you know, they're in the middle. They have emotions about both sides. It's like, no, this nigga's not doing the right thing. I need to, so you know what I mean? I need somebody outside. To, you know what I mean? I need an outside input.
Men also think, I guess, because women go through the experience and they're so heroic.
You know,
nothing could be wrong with you.
Nothing could
you know what I
nothing
noticed,
could be wrong
though?
with you. You're fine. What's postpartum depression?
Right.
First of all, I heard males and females have postpartum.
Yes, it's true.
Guys can't even fathom that.
No.
That's crazy. I never heard of that, but it makes
I
sense.
just recently heard that. But
Definitely
like,
makes sense.
if you're going through it together, it should be that. Then technically, you should be feeling what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But
I took a psychology class last semester, actually, that like very briefly touched on the postpartum for men. That's why I agree, because I'd never heard of it before then.
Yeah.
It would definitely be a very more so engaged partner that would feel that, of course, that would actually feel your pain. Like, have to be really your partner.
True.
I mean, so wait, is it postpartum through you, or they have their own feelings
It's their own
about
postpartum. So, like, they will be diagnosed with postpartum, but, like, they didn't go through, like, the actual, obviously, like, the physical trauma, but they still, I don't think they come up with a definition for it specifically yet. So, the reason why they started the maternity leave for men was because of this postpartum.
Okay.
Paternity leave, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
Because I'm because where did it go?
Yeah.
Where did it go?
I want to make a joke so bad, but I'm not gonna do it. It's not.
You know what? Listen, you gotta
Yeah.
laugh at your pain. I'm saying, like,
I was gonna say the postpartum's not getting coochie for 6 weeks.
you feel me though? You
Pat
feel me
would
though?
really say something like
Y'all
that.
niggas getting pussy either way.
And then don't lead me to the next problem.
y'all gonna
Don't
ask
lead
for it
me
on
to
the
the
first
next
day
problem.
home,
Like,
so-
but
Nah,
apparently
bro, that
that
was
also
crazy.
it's not just about, even if you feel good, apparently you're still not supposed to do it because, like, I know a lot of people probably do it anyway. That's how you have Irish twins and shit like that.
Watch
But
it. You gonna go get stitches again. Watch it.
Yeah, it's really not recommended. Like, your immune system, your body. If you just had a baby, don't let him
Good.
pop that coochie.
And I've had
Stop
people, I've had my girlfriends with fresh babies ask me, like, how long do I have to wait? I said, what did the doctor tell you? Wait 2 weeks past what he told you.
Your coochie just spread open. What
Your
you talking
coochie
about?
broken, okay? It's not spread open. On the inside, the shit broke.
No, listen, it's
broken.
tearing from
It's
front
broke.
to back.
It's not
Oh,
good.
it's
It's bad, but let's be honest. As women with hormones, it's very difficult. After you have kids, like, let's think about your periods, to be real.
Yeah.
Like, how intense your hormones are after you give birth. It's kind of like
You
the
know
same
what's
thing.
so crazy?
So you want to have sex
Yeah,
then?
yeah, very much so.
That makes sense.
Another
So am I able to though? I guess that's why women are doing it.
Gently. I don't
it
see
snaps
why
back
you
like
can't.
that?
And especially if that's your man. Like,
I feel like
Stitches, you
should
get
go based
stitches,
off of how
no?
you feel.
I ain't
You
touching
gotta
that
go
shit
based off of how you
it's
eight
feel.
all
weeks.
individualized.
Some people are fast healers.
I'm sorry.
2 weeks extra.
Granular. Like,
Y'all get 6
you're
plus
getting
2.
stitches, no?
Not all the time.
No, if you cut,
Ooh.
your body,
I really don't know nothing.
Your vagina is
Sometimes
naturally
that shit
meant
can
to
rip to
open
that
up to
butt.
your head. Your
That's what I'm thinking.
Your vagina should open up this much on its own.
And honestly, they're only gonna stitch if they make an incision.
Yeah.
If you naturally tear,
You're not.
So you're just
gonna-
going back
They don't
together.
stitch that back
I
up?
don't
They
think so.
might not.
Yeah, they may not.
It depends.
Oh
If it's,
my
it has to be
God.
over a
Right.
certain. It has to be over a certain amount of centimeters.
Yeah, I ain't touching
If
it.
you're 1 centimeter, you get 3 stitches.
Oh, you touching it.
So
Yeah,
you're just
And you're definitely
going back to
touching it.
normal. Over the weeks, you're
You
just
not
going
even
back
think
to
about
normal.
it.
8 weeks.
That's a
It's
beautiful
like the same thing
thing.
as fucking somebody and then fucking them again in the same hour.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That shit is open, nigga. I'm telling you. That's why God made a dick to go into a pussy. And you can edit this out, but I'm just saying. So,
Open like that,
post-
my coochie never gonna
no,
be open
but
like
and you know
that.
what?
Different coochie opening.
The fucked up thing about postpartum on a serious note is that there's people that have a village already, and there's certain people that have to establish a village. And your village is so important because they
amen.
really,
Shout out to the village.
Shout out to the village.
Shout out to the
Whether
village.
they was there before or after, shout out to the village. Your village definitely means so much. They remind you that you're important, that you're needed, that you're wanted.
Right.
Whether your partner's doing that for you or not, they're gonna remind you everything. They're gonna come visit you. They're gonna come check on you and your baby, ask you if you need something. They're gonna bring your baby some cute sneakers, cute gifts. Shout out to Nettie. Bought my son his first phones. Let's go.
That's fine.
Okay, and like all of my friends, Zaria, Zena, like all of my best friends, they all uplifted me so much throughout my time of postpartum, and they probably don't even know because I'm like one of a couple of my friends that have kids. A lot of my friends don't have kids, so they don't even really understand the trials that we went through, and we're still able to acknowledge like my friend's a little too quiet. Or how's my friend and her baby doing? Or you know what? Fuck my friend. I'm gonna go check on my friend baby.
Right.
And that's fine.
Yeah, that's dope.
Because I'm gonna love you more how you love my kid anyways, bitch. So come through.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, and even if you don't want to be okay, you gotta make yourself okay, and eventually you're gonna be okay, and God's gonna make sure of that.
Amen.
So
Right.
Do y'all want more children?
whew,
Y'all both looked at each other. I don't know.
I mean, if God sees fit.
that's how I feel
That's
too.
it.
Amen. Word. I always wanted
All
a
right.
fucking soccer
My kids
team.
are
If
big.
God sees fit,
Yeah.
and I agree with that, but do y'all want more children?
I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind.
I don't think
Yeah.
women
If
don't
I have the
want.
proper partner, I would love to have. I'll give the proper partner whatever he wants. Okay.
You heard that.
Wherever you at, baby.
But
I
you
need
want a
whatever
big
you
family
want.
for yourself too, though.
Yeah, I do. You know, like my biggest dream as a kid was to have a big family because I felt like I didn't. You asked the question earlier about, you know, did you know if you wanted kids as a youth? I always wanted a kid. I just wanted to be able to feel that unconditional love. I heard everybody talk about that. I
That
felt
shit
like
is
I didn't
different.
get.
That.
And I tell you right now, like, I didn't comment on, the first time feeling your kid on your chest because I didn't get to feel my son on my chest. He had to go straight to the NICU. I went straight to the ICU.
Sorry to hear that.
No, I mean, it's okay because he was healthy.
Yeah,
so,
I know
period.
Good, but
they took him there to make sure he was good. He was great. I was a little fucked up, and that's good because rather be me than him. But I have a picture actually that brings back such nostalgic feelings, and it's like I couldn't hold him because obviously I was under the knife. I didn't have a natural birth, and I had an emergency C-section, so they had the curtain up and everything. So like they put him on. I looked to the right and I saw him being weighed, and like I was so like drugged up. I'm like kind of like slowly like in the stars, like trying to like look to the other side to see where they're bringing him, and all I remember is them asking my son's father, do he want to hold him? And my son's father kind of like was like this. Nurses had their hands under him because they know men ain't stable.
That ass.
And they like my head. I don't know how to. I just like my head was like I was like laying down, right? Yeah, like I'm sorry. I was like laying down like this or whatever. And like they brought him to like the corner, like this corner of my head, like the left corner of my head. And I just remember like looking up and like actually seeing his face. And I was so drugged up that I was laughing. And there was just tears coming out of my face. And I just couldn't explain it because I never would have thought that I could have something so beautiful. And
overjoyed.
Like, I thought that God was never like, I never knew that there was a God, bro. That was the day I really believed in God. And don't get me wrong, I've always prayed to God because let me tell all y'all non-believing God motherfuckers, okay? I don't give a fuck if you don't believe in God. You're going to talk to yourself so much that you don't even realize you're talking to God.
Oh.
And one day, He's going to give you what the fuck you've been asking for. And that was the day that I realized that I could be something, I could be somebody, and that God gave me the privilege to be a mom. And I'm Indian, right? And I'm not going to sit here and go blah, 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 blah into the thingy. But there's a saying in my language, in my culture, that basically says that when you can't find God and you feel at your most vulnerable, the next thing closest to God is your mother. So I always prayed to my mom. I always told myself I didn't believe in God, and I always prayed to my mother. And I always prayed for my mother because she was in an abusive, fucked up relationship with my father. And that's the only person she's known since she was 20 years old. The only man she's ever known in her life on another tip besides her brothers and her dad and her uncles. So
that's beautiful, though.
I love being a mom, and God really gave me what I needed. And it's the truth when they say that God give you what you need when you need it. He don't give you what you want. He give you what you need.
Amen.
And when you need it, not when you want it. It's in time.
So now I'm about to...
Shout out to Dash. Love my son.
I'm sorry.
Dash World.
Can you say the saying in your language?
Okay, so, hold on, because now you got me a little drunk, a little emotional, okay? Okay. The saying is, Bora ju miliana man likha, ek vari tonu dikhya tota, de menu ek vari javan denya.
Okay.
Oh. That's dope. That's fire.
Sorry, I said it slow. I'm no Indian friend. I had to take the time.
I'm about to put all y'all on the spot right now.
Thank you.
I'm about to put all y'all on the spot right now. Before we get out of here, I want to do something special for the moms in your everybody's life. So you would look at that one. You would look at that one. You would look at that one.
Okay.
Which one you
Everybody's
gonna
gonna.
look at?
I'm gonna look at that one too.
Okay.
Everybody's gonna go one at a time and really speak to their mom and wish them a happy Mother's Day. It doesn't have to be long. Could be short. Just
Can
whatever
I
you
go
feel like
first?
saying. Sure.
Wait, hold on. I gotta say something for Bridget too. Hold on.
Right.
Second that for Bridget.
Right.
Whatever y'all want to say. Just have
Miss
ample
Bridget. You know you that girl. Listen, I was drunk the other week. This had nothing to do with how good of a mother you are, but actually it does, because
Oh, she's getting emotional.
the way that happened, I'm always emotional about my mom, but
She's
you are
amazing.
amazing. You are you taught me everything you needed to teach me, regardless of the decisions that I made. You taught me everything you needed to teach me. You're a beautiful person inside and out. Even though I have a bad attitude, that's not a reflection on you. So don't worry about that. I'm fixing it. I love you so much. And I'm working on it. I love you so much. And I wouldn't ever choose another mom. You are that girl. And your 60th birthday coming up, we're about to turn up on that cruise. We're going crazy.
Shout out to
crazy. Thank you. Happy birthday to my mama and your extra kid right here too. So
I'm adopted.
yeah, Bridget.
Don't forget me, Bridget.
Yeah, Bridget.
Want to go second?
I'll go. Happy Mother's Day, Ma. I just want to let you know that we love you and we appreciate you. Thank you for all your sacrifices and all you've done for us. Ari and Alex, I love you guys so much. You got a cute mom, period.
That's a fact.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Thank you. And happy Mother's Day, Mom. Thank you so much for being there for me. I'm sorry that we haven't been able to say Happy Mother's Day to each other in years. But I hope that you know you're still a good mom, and I hope that you're never discouraged behind me and where I ended up in life.
Because she did that, period. And that's because of you.
Hit
Hit
that
the
button.
button. Hit the button.
Yeah.
Did you want to do another one too, or that was
No,
to
I got
another?
nothing
No,
else.
that's I thought you said 2 people. Oh, you
Oh,
saying
I was talking about her mom.
Okay,
Because
okay.
Bridgie, my mommy,
just
too,
making sure.
okay? Bridgie, my adopted mother,
It's a fact.
coerced. She was coerced into the adoption. Yeah.
Respectfully.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Growing up, I had a I sit here. I don't talk a lot about like my family life. A lot of people don't even ask me about my family life. But I always say that I might not have had my own family. I have had so many mothers, so many families, bro. I've had people that took me in when I had purple feet and cuts on my back and my body, and they didn't tell nobody about nothing. They made sure I had clothes on my back. They made sure I ate, and I've had so many mothers in my life. So I could never sit here and feel like I always had a mother around me.
That's beautiful.
One way or another.
That's really beautiful. My
A
mother calling
blessing,
me
it's a
right now. She
blessing.
got telepathy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me do this so you can call your mom.
Nah, she too loud. I can't answer. It's FaceTime. She's too loud. All right. Come on now. Oh my
I'm not gonna
gosh.
answer.
I'm in the middle of the pod right now and we doing the Happy Mother's Day shout out.
Happy
Don't be
Mother's
all
Day.
loud. Happy Mother's Day,
Happy Mother's
mommy.
Day.
Ew.
You coming for me?
Yeah. All right. I'll call you back. Love you. Bye.
So I care about nothing you had to say right
Like
now.
crazy.
Ma, shit. Where do I start? I love you. I'm thankful for you every day. You are a big inspiration to me. You are a soldier for what you've done for me and my brother. Also, going through the loss of your husband and my father, you have always held it down, always shown us the utmost respect, always had our back through thick and thin. Bless me with a great heart. Your heart has truly come onto me and also my son. So for that, I'm very thankful. You're a great grandmother. And just a great leader of a household. Just want to tell you, I love you every day. I don't tell you enough. I know you always show
You
your
gonna
love
make
and
me
you're
cry.
always
Hold
giving. And I just love you from the bottom of my heart. And I always will. And I'm just thankful for you, Mom. So have a good Mother's Day, and I'll probably be there next to you. I love you very much.
Before I do the horns for you, Mom, I just want to say that this Pat guy is
like
a
him a lot.
great
He's
guy.
amazing.
And I know we talk to him crazy on the pod, Mom. That's no
It's all
disrespect to
love.
him. It's no disrespect to you.
It's mad
You
love.
raised a great
Man,
human
yep.
being. Like,
Yes.
this is actually one of my greatest friends.
Yeah,
Oh
he's a
my
good
gosh.
person.
Shout out to you, Mom, because it's because of you. It's not because of him.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ladies, I want to say thank you for coming on and
Thank you for
sharing your
having us.
stories. Those you told a lot of deep stories that a lot of people probably gonna listen to and relate to. As much as they're gonna hear your story, they're probably gonna relate to a lot. And there's probably people that are struggling with certain things that you probably helped them out with a lot just by hearing this pod. So
I have one thing to
I
say
just want to say
too.
thank you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Nah, you good.
Because I don't read the notes, okay? And I don't went
Right,
on course. So
right.
we didn't go through all the notes. So
Mhm.
I just want to say that, like, because I wish somebody would have gave me, like, one little piece of advice when I was by myself sitting there through those nights,
Mhm.
which a lot of mothers go through. I just want to say, just be confident and just be there. Be present. Because you know, feeling like they don't have this or you couldn't give them this. As long as they got a fucking roof over their head and one shirt you could wash, one fucking whatever, like just be there and be present because that shit matters a lot. And always show your kids that you appreciate them and you love them and you feel like they're everything to you because they should be everything to you. So that's one thing I wish somebody would have told me. Just be there. Don't feel like, and to this day, I'm still like, damn, I couldn't give him this or I couldn't do that. And then I have to remind myself, like, Kim, you didn't give him nothing, but he's going to remember that you was there every time for Christmas, every birthday, every this, every that. And the times where maybe I fell short because I went through fucked up shit, it's all right because in one way, shape, or form or another, I hope that he thinks I made up for it just by being there.
He will.
So
he will.
that's one thing that I would like to just add on my
I
own.
just want to piggyback on that real quick, just because as moms, you know, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves just to be grateful and be graceful with ourselves because no hard time is going to last forever. So just take everything a day, you know, day by day basis. That's it. Know that the tough times are not going to last forever. So be intentional in that time, even if it's a tough time. Just know, like, what they say, the days are short, but the years are long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true. Like, none of this hard stuff is going to last forever. So enjoy the time with your kids. Do as much as you can do with them. The sacrifices that you're making are like short-term shit for like longevity.
Long-term,
Yeah.
Long-term
So just keep that in mind.
I just want to say shout out to you too, because I see your kid thriving, beautiful. Both of them
thank
thriving,
you.
beautiful. My nephew is thriving. He's beautiful.
Thank you, sis.
My other nephew thriving. He's beautiful.
Amen.
So
We're blessed.
congratulations to y'all.
Thank you.
And I
Thank you
can't
so
wait
much.
till it's my turn.
Shout out the mothers. And with that being said,
Babies on you,
it's a
bitch.
Culture
Wishing
Shout
mad babies
podcast.
on you.
Happy
We
Mother's
outta
Day,
here.
y'all.